Hello everyone, Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 11. Here's our disclosures. This contest for educational purposes only, not providing any investment right advice. I am not a financial advisor. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments involve risk. Here's our agenda. I will cover the news. I will cover a market view over the indices. Earnings season has wound down. We have 307 companies, not many popular names. So I'll do my best again this week to provide you with things that I think may meet entry. Here's our week 10 results. Provided 12 zones. Actually went 0 for 0 this week. Nothing met entry this week. Pretty much the S&P 500 had a nice drawdown. The markets were falling. However, nothing that I sent out met entry. However, Campbell Soup did close in the zone, so you may want to pay attention to that this week. You can go long or buy shares this week if we remain in the zone I provided last week. Here's the outlook for this week. Again, a lot of earnings, but just not your popular names. Mostly the Russell 2000 reporting earnings, and all these stocks are pretty much under $10, so that's why we don't trade them. So moving on. Moving into our news for the week, as you can see on Monday, we have the Canadian dollar reporting. So those of you trading futures and Forex, be mindful of that. They have a report pre-market. We don't have anything that affecting the U.S. dollar. I'm sorry, the U.S. markets outside of what happens over the weekend with the conflict we're currently having in Iran. Australian dollar will have a report after hours, so be mindful of that for those of you trading futures and Forex. Moving on to Tuesday, we don't have anything that will impact the markets. And then moving on to Wednesday, Wednesday will be the first time we have something that will affect the U.S. markets. We have PPI, core PPI at 5:30 in the morning, pre-market on Wednesday, and then we have the Fed funds rate and the FOMC statement. So whatever Jerome Powell says to the markets, they're I highly doubt they're cutting rates. So we'll see if our conflict ends and the markets decide to turn around or remain stagnant, or Powell says something that can affect us. Australian dollar also has reports post-market, and so does the Japanese yen. Moving on to Thursday, pretty much everything is affecting the currencies. We have the British pound, the euro, and then unemployment claims for the U.S. stock market is going to be at 5:30 in the morning. It's going to be an hour pre-market, and then the euro has a press conference, pretty much the first 30 minutes of the bell. And be mindful of that can impact the U.S. dollar, which could eventually affect the stock market. And then no news on Friday. So a lot of news when it comes to our currencies and the US dollar. So be mindful of that. And then we don't have anything really impacting our trades until Wednesday with Jerome Powell speaking during mid-morning. Moving into our chart, starting with the SPX. As you can see, we have fallen 5.5% from our all-time highs. We are reaching this demand zone again. This was last Sunday where they moved a lot of money and we popped from this area. So we'll see if this area holds again. I'm going to do this just since it's the SPX. Look for the 6,600 area, depending on what happens on the Sunday open and Monday morning. We can reverse from here and head higher. There are two levels here. We finally reached this level again. 6,600 is a key area for the market this week. See if we see a bounce. And then we'll come back to fill this gap here at 6,776 if these two levels hold. With that being said, 6,600 to 6,510, and then a subsequent level at 6510 to 6476, and that's gonna be for the SPX. Moving on to the Nasdaq holding a little bit stronger. As you can see, we keep bouncing from this level a lot more than the S&P 500. Same levels here on the Nasdaq as we have in the SPX. That's going to be 24,238 to 23,877, and then 23,850 to 23,668. Supply remaining the same. Gonna be 25,882 to 12 to 26,206. With the NASDAQ, we have a little bit more clear picture, so I'm gonna change that supply zone as well. And that supply zone now is gonna be 25,480 to 25,853. Moving on to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones showing some weakness, also closed into this level, 465.98 to 461 even on the demand side, and then 500.92 to 505 on the supply side. Moving on to the almighty Rut. Rut holding this level again. If 2462 fails, I would say refrain from trading a Russell as it has a long way to go to its next demand zone. So be mindful that this level has been penetrated once, twice. If conflict is not resolved over the weekend or something positive doesn't happen soon, I would say stay away from the Russell until it shows some strength because it has a long way to go. On the supply side, 2713 to 2736. Now, moving into earnings for the week. First company I have for you reporting Monday morning is going to be Dollar Tree, ticker symbol DLTR. On the demand side, 103.27 to 96.84. And on the supply side, 130.03 to 134.04. Next company I have for you, ticker symbol DK. I'm sorry, ticker symbol OKLO, and the company is Oklo. They report Tuesday afternoon. On the demand side, 41.52 to 34.04. And on the supply side, 131.06 to 151.99. Next company I have for you, also reporting Tuesday afternoon, is going to be Lululemon, ticker symbol LULU. Same levels that have been holding all year. The 141 to 110 on the demand side, and on the supply side, we have 220.07 to 234.22. Next company I have for you is DocuSign, ticker symbol DOCU. On the demand side, 39.52 to 34.88. On the supply side, 55.35 to 58.95. Moving on to Wednesday morning, first company I have for you is going to be General Mills, ticker symbol GIS. On the demand side, 30.61 to 28.56. And on the supply side, 64.89 to 67.53. Next company I have for you is going to be Macy's, ticker symbol M. On the demand side, 13.58 to 12.62. On the supply side, 20 to 21.26. Moving on to Wednesday after the market. First company I have for you is going to be Micron. They've been on a tear this whole year. Outperforming NVIDIA right now is currently at 426. There is no supply. First demand zone I have for you is at 346.79 to 322.41 with a subsequent level at 297.38 to 271.89. Next company I have for you is Five Below, ticker symbol FIVE, 5. On the demand side, 167.59 to 158.14. On the supply side, 221.64 to 237.86. Moving on to Thursday morning, first company I have for you is going to be Baba. On the demand side, 122.49 to 112.98. On the supply side, 150.53 to 158.73. Next company I have for you is Accenture, ticker symbol ACN. On the demand side, 184.25 to 163.70. And on the supply side, 275.56 to 291.01. Next company I have for you is going to be Signet, ticker symbol SIG. On the demand side, 77.16 to 73.58, with a subsequent level at 67.98 to 63.87. And on the supply side, 105.73 to 111.93. Moving on to Thursday after the bell. FedEx, no supply in FedEx. First demand zone I have for you is going to be at 296.68 to 287.75. That's going to do it for the charts this week. With that being said, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. If you're not doing so already, follow me on social media. If you want to learn more about what I do, feel free to email me and contact me to take courses, classes, or join our WhatsApp group. And until next time, happy trading.